Marcus Chen had always prided himself on being observant. A forensic accountant by trade, he made his living finding what others tried to hide. Numbers didn't lie to Marcus. People did. His wife of 7 years, Rebecca, had started lying to him approximately 4 months ago. Marcus knew the exact date because that's when the credit card statements began showing inconsistencies. Small ones at first. A coffee shop charge at 3 p.m. when she told him she was in back-to-back meetings. A parking garage downtown when she claimed to be at her sister's house in the suburbs. Marcus didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, he did what he did best. He investigated. The evidence accumulated like interest on a bad debt. Late-night texts she quickly minimized when he entered the room. New lingerie hidden at the back of her drawer. Tags still attached, never worn for him. A sudden interest in the gym, complete with designer workout clothes and a membership to an upscale facility across town. Then came the hotel receipt. She'd been careless, leaving it in her jacket pocket. The Grandview Hotel, room 847, charged to her personal card. The date was last Thursday, the night she'd claimed to be at a work conference that ran late. Marcus sat in his home office, the receipt spread before him like damning evidence in a trial. His hands were steady as he photographed it, uploaded it to his encrypted cloud storage, and returned it to her jacket pocket. Rebecca would never know he'd found it. Not yet. But Marcus had a plan. And unlike Rebecca's careful deceptions, his would be flawless. The man's name was Derek Sullivan. Marcus discovered this after hiring a private investigator, a woman named Patricia who specialized in marital infidelity cases. Patricia was thorough. Within 2 weeks, Marcus had a complete dossier on his wife's lover. Derek Sullivan, 34, worked as a commercial real estate broker. Divorced once, no children. He drove a leased BMW, lived in a trendy loft downtown, and had a reputation as a player among his colleagues. He was exactly the type of man Marcus had always suspected Rebecca secretly desired. Charismatic, confident, effortlessly social. Everything Marcus, with his quiet intensity and analytical mind, was not. Most clients want to confront their spouses immediately, Patricia told him during their final meeting, sliding a thick folder across the table. But you seem different, calmer. I'm an accountant, Marcus replied with a thin smile. I believe in auditing the full situation before making any decisions. Patricia studied him with knowing eyes. Just remember, revenge can be expensive in ways that have nothing to do with money. Marcus nodded, but he'd already made his choice. Rebecca wanted to play games? Fine. He'd show her what happened when you played games with someone who always thought 3 moves ahead. Phase 1 of Marcus's plan began on a Friday evening. Rebecca had told him she was going to book club. Another lie, Marcus knew, since her book club met on Tuesdays and had for the past 3 years. Have fun, he told her, kissing her cheek as she left. She smelled of expensive perfume, the kind she saved for special occasions. Once her car pulled out of the driveway, Marcus went to work. He accessed their shared laptop and began systematically documenting every digital trail of her affair. Emails to Derek saved in a hidden folder. Text messages she'd deleted but that still lived in cloud backups. Photos she'd taken and thought she'd erased. He copied everything, organized it meticulously, and stored it in 3 separate locations. Then he did something Rebecca would never expect. He started creating his own trail. Marcus joined a dating app, using photos from 5 years ago when he'd been thinner, his hairline less receded. He created a profile that was charming, funny, everything he rarely was in person. Within hours, he had matches. Within days, he was chatting with several women. But Marcus had no intention of actually meeting any of them. This was about establishing a pattern, creating reasonable doubt for what would come later. The woman's name was Olivia, and she was Derek Sullivan's ex-wife. Marcus found her through property records. Derek's divorce settlement was a matter of public record. She lived in a modest townhouse on the other side of the city and worked as a graphic designer. Her social media showed a woman trying to rebuild her life after betrayal. Inspirational quotes, photos of solo travels, the occasional wine-fueled post about knowing your worth. Marcus sent her a message through LinkedIn, posing as someone interested in hiring a designer for his new business venture. They met at a coffee shop on a Wednesday afternoon. Olivia was prettier in person than in her photos. Dark hair, sharp green eyes, a wariness that spoke of hard-learned lessons. She arrived with a portfolio and a professional smile. Thank you for meeting me, Marcus began, ordering them both coffee. Though I should be honest, I'm not really starting a business. Her smile faltered. Then why am I here? Because we have something in common. Derek Sullivan. The name hit her like a physical blow. Her hand tightened around her coffee cup. What about Derek? Marcus leaned forward, his voice gentle but firm. He's having an affair with my wife, and I think it's time we both got a little payback. Olivia stared at him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she smiled, a sharp, dangerous expression that didn't reach her eyes. Tell me everything. Over the next hour, Marcus laid out his plan. It was elaborate, precise, and utterly devastating. When he finished, Olivia sat back in her chair, studying him with newfound respect. You're not at all what I expected, she said finally. What did you expect? Someone broken, desperate. She shook her head. But you're not, are you? You're angry. Aren't you? Marcus challenged. Every single day, Olivia admitted. Derek destroyed me. He cheated throughout our marriage, gaslit me when I confronted him, and then took half of everything in the divorce. If you're offering me a chance to make him understand what that felt like, she extended her hand, count me in. They shook on it, two wounded souls united by a common purpose, making Derek Sullivan and Rebecca Chen understand the true cost of betrayal. Phase 2 began with a party. Derek was hosting an open house at a luxury property he was trying to sell, a penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows and a price tag that made Marcus's accountant soul wince. It was the perfect setting for what came next. Marcus and Olivia arrived together, posing as a wealthy couple interested in investment properties. Derek, ever the salesman, greeted them with practiced charm, not recognizing his ex-wife in her designer dress and styled hair. Have we met before? He asked Olivia, something flickering in his eyes. I don't think so, she replied smoothly, her hand resting on Marcus's arm. I'd remember. They toured the property, making interested noises at appropriate moments. Derek was in his element, gesturing expansively at marble countertops and custom fixtures. Marcus watched him carefully, noting the expensive watch, the tailored suit, the confidence of a man who'd never truly faced consequences for his actions. We'll need to discuss it, Marcus told Derek as the tour concluded. But we're very interested. Perhaps we could meet for dinner, get to know each other better? Derek agreed immediately, handing over his business card. I look forward to it. As they left, Olivia whispered, He still doesn't recognize me. That's because he never really saw you, Marcus replied, just like Rebecca never really saw me. The dinner was set for the following week at an upscale steakhouse downtown. Marcus chose the location carefully, the same restaurant where he and Rebecca had celebrated their 5th anniversary, back when he'd still believed their marriage was solid. Derek arrived first, alone. Marcus and Olivia were already seated, having deliberately arrived early. Thank you for meeting us, Marcus said as Derek joined them. I hope you don't mind. I invited one more person to join us, someone I thought you should meet. Oh? Derek looked curious, but unconcerned. Business partner? You could say that. The restaurant door opened. Rebecca walked in, stunning in a red dress Marcus had never seen before. She was checking her phone, a small smile on her lips, probably texting Derek about some excuse she'd given Marcus for being out tonight. She looked up, saw the table, and froze. Her eyes went from Marcus to Derek to Olivia and back again. The color drained from her face. Marcus? Her voice was barely a whisper. What's going on? Hello, Rebecca. Marcus's voice was calm, almost pleasant. Derek, I don't believe you formally met my wife. Rebecca, this is Derek Sullivan, though I suspect you two already know each other quite well. Derek's confident facade cracked. He looked between Marcus and Rebecca, understanding dawning in his eyes. And Derek, Marcus continued, gesturing to Olivia, I believe you remember your ex-wife, Olivia. She's been helping me understand your patterns. Fascinating research, really. This is insane. Derek started to stand, but Olivia's hand shot out, gripping his wrist with surprising strength. Sit down, Derek, she said quietly. For once in your miserable life, face the consequences of your actions. Rebecca remained standing, her eyes darting toward the exit. Marcus had anticipated this. I wouldn't run if I were you, he told her gently. Not unless you want those photos from the Grandview Hotel sent to your entire contact list, including your mother and your boss. She sank into the empty chair, her hands shaking. How long have you known? She asked, her voice breaking. 4 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days, Marcus replied. I'm an accountant. I keep track of things. Across the table, Derek had regained some of his composure. Look, Marcus, I understand you're upset, but Rebecca and I, we care about each other. This isn't just some casual thing. Marcus laughed, a cold, humorless sound. Care about each other, Derek? Do you know what Rebecca told me last month? That she'd never leave me because she couldn't afford to maintain her lifestyle on her own salary. That's what she said to her sister on a phone call I recorded. Rebecca's face went white. You recorded my calls? Our calls, Marcus corrected, on our shared phone plan. All perfectly legal. He turned to Derek. And Derek, since we're being honest, Rebecca isn't the first married woman you've been with, is she? Olivia gave me quite the list. 7 affairs during your marriage alone. Rebecca, did he tell you about any of them? Derek said nothing, but the guilt on his face spoke volumes. This is what you're going to do, Marcus continued, his voice taking on a harder edge. Rebecca, you're going to move out of our house tonight. Olivia has graciously offered to let you stay with her. You two can bond over your shared experience of Derek's charms. What? Both women spoke simultaneously. It's the least you could do, Olivia, Marcus said, given that you're going to be receiving half of Rebecca's share of our assets as compensation for your help in exposing this situation. I've already had the paperwork drawn up. You can't do that, Rebecca protested. I can and I will. Massachusetts is a no-fault state, but adultery still affects asset division, especially when documented as thoroughly as yours has been. You'll get what you're entitled to legally, and Olivia will receive her compensation from your share, not mine. He turned to Derek. As for you, Olivia has agreed not to pursue additional damages from your divorce settlement in exchange for my help in making sure your professional reputation remains. Let's say, accurately represented. I've already prepared a detailed account of your relationship with Rebecca to share with your real estate board. Sleeping with married clients isn't illegal, but it's certainly unethical. I suspect your business will suffer accordingly. Derek's jaw clenched. You're destroying people's lives. No, Marcus corrected coldly. I'm simply revealing what was already there. You destroyed your own lives. I'm just making sure everyone knows about it. Rebecca started to cry, mascara running down her face. Marcus, please, we can work through this. Go to counseling. I made a mistake. Mistakes are forgetting to pay a bill or overcooking dinner, Marcus interrupted. This was a choice. Hundreds of choices, actually. Every time you lied, every time you met him, every time you came home and kissed me with the same mouth that... He stopped himself, taking a breath. No, Rebecca, we're done. The table fell silent. Around them, the restaurant continued its normal rhythm, couples laughing, glasses clinking, the mundane joy of people whose lives weren't imploding. Finally, Olivia spoke. I never thought I'd feel sorry for you, she told Rebecca, but I do. Because you're about to learn what I learned. Derek doesn't love anyone but himself, and you threw away a man who actually loved you for that. Loved, Marcus corrected quietly. Past tense. He stood, throwing several $100 bills on the table. It had dinners on me. Consider it a farewell meal. Rebecca, I'll have your belongings packed and sent to Olivia's address. Derek, enjoy your declining business. And Olivia, thank you. The check will be in your account by Monday. He walked out of the restaurant without looking back, his heart pounding but his hands steady. Behind him, he heard Rebecca call his name, but he didn't turn around. It was over. 3 months later, Marcus sat in his newly renovated home office, reviewing financial statements. The divorce had been finalized last week. Quick and brutal, exactly as he'd planned. Rebecca had contested nothing, too afraid of what he might reveal if pushed. His phone buzzed. A text from Olivia. Derek's brokerage fired him today. Thought you'd want to know. Marcus smiled slightly but didn't reply. He'd already moved on. The doorbell rang. Marcus closed his laptop and went to answer it. Patricia, his private investigator, stood on the doorstep with a bottle of wine and a knowing smile. I heard the divorce was finalized. Figured you might want to celebrate. I don't drink, Marcus reminded her. I know. The wine's for me. She held up a bag from his favorite takeout place. But I brought you dinner. May I? Marcus hesitated, then stepped aside. Why not? They ate on his back patio, the summer evening warm and pleasant. Patricia told him about her other cases: the cheating husband who'd been caught because he used his tollway pass to visit his girlfriend, the wife who'd hired her to prove her own affair so she could divorce her abusive husband with evidence of her own fault and escape without contested litigation. You did what you set out to do, Patricia observed, studying Marcus over her wine glass. Rebecca and Derek both paid the price. So why don't you look happy? Marcus considered the question. Because winning doesn't feel the way I thought it would. It never does, Patricia said gently. Revenge is satisfying in the moment, but it doesn't heal the wound. Only time and moving forward do that. Is that why you do this job? To help people move forward? I do this job because I believe in truth, Patricia replied. What people do with that truth is up to them. Some use it to heal, others use it to hurt. You chose to hurt them back, and that was your right, but now you have to choose what comes next. Marcus looked out over his yard. The garden Rebecca had planted now overgrown and wild. He'd have to decide whether to maintain it or tear it out entirely. A metaphor, perhaps, for his entire life. I don't know how to move forward, he admitted. Start small, Patricia suggested. Redecorate, change things. Make this house yours, not the ghost of your marriage. She paused. And maybe consider forgiving her, not for Rebecca's sake, for yours. I'm not sure I can. You don't have to, not yet. Patricia stood, gathering her things. But holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Eventually, it destroys you too. After she left, Marcus sat alone in the gathering darkness. His phone buzzed again, a message from an unknown number. This is Rebecca. I know you don't want to hear from me, but I need you to know I'm sorry. What I did was unforgivable. Good or bad, you deserved better. I hope you find someone who treats you the way you should have been treated all along. Marcus stared at the message for a long time. Then slowly he typed a response. I hope you learned something from this. Goodbye. Rebecca. He deleted her contact information, blocked her number, and set his phone aside. The next morning, Marcus called a landscaping company. I need my entire backyard redesigned, he told them. I want something completely new, something that's mine. Then he called a realtor. Not Derek's company, obviously. I'm interested in looking at condos downtown. Something modern, something with no history. Small steps, but steps nonetheless. 6 months after the divorce, Marcus ran into Derek at a coffee shop. Derek looked different, thinner, tired, the confidence gone from his bearing. He was on his phone, arguing with someone about money. When he saw Marcus, he froze. For a moment, neither man spoke. Then Derek said quietly, I lost everything. My business, my reputation. Olivia even came after me for additional damages once your divorce was final. She said our deal was only valid if I left Rebecca alone. I called her once and he trailed off. And Olivia made sure you regretted it, Marcus finished. Good for her. Rebecca and I aren't together anymore, Derek continued. She blamed me for everything, said I ruined her life. He laughed bitterly. Maybe I did. Marcus sipped his coffee, feeling nothing. No satisfaction, no sympathy, nothing. You ruined your own life, Derek. Just like Rebecca ruined hers. I just made sure you couldn't hide from the consequences. Was it worth it? Derek asked. Destroying us? Marcus considered the question. I don't know, but it was necessary. He left without another word. A year after the divorce, Marcus met someone new. Her name was Jennifer. She was a teacher, and she had kind eyes and an easy laugh. They met at a bookstore, both reaching for the same novel at the same time. You can have it, she'd said, smiling. We could share it, Marcus had replied, surprising himself. I'll buy it, you read it first, and then we can meet for coffee to discuss it. It was a simple beginning. No drama, no games, just two people genuinely interested in getting to know each other. Jennifer knew about his divorce. He was honest about it from the start. My wife cheated, he told her on their third date. I handled it badly, vindictively. I'm not proud of everything I did. But you're honest about it, Jennifer observed. That counts for something. They took things slowly. Marcus found himself laughing more, relaxing more. Jennifer brought lightness into his life that he'd forgotten existed. You're different now, Patricia commented when Marcus invited her to dinner to officially close her involvement in his case. Lighter, somehow. I'm letting go, Marcus explained, or trying to anyway. That's good, Patricia approved. That's healthy. 2 years after the divorce, Marcus received an unexpected letter. It was from Rebecca. Dear Marcus, I don't expect you to read this, and I have no right to ask for your forgiveness. But I've been in therapy, and my counselor suggested I write to you, not to ease my conscience, but to own my actions fully. What I did to you was cruel and cowardly. I was selfish, immature, and I took your love for granted. You deserved honesty, and I gave you lies. You deserved loyalty, and I gave you betrayal. I don't blame you for what you did. I deserved every consequence. Derek and I destroyed each other. We were toxic together, just as Olivia warned me. I lost my job, most of my friends, and all of my self respect. But I'm rebuilding, slowly. I'm learning to be honest, to value myself without needing male validation, to take responsibility for my choices. I don't expect a response. I just wanted you to know that you were right. I did learn something from this. I learned what love actually looks like, and I'm sorry it took losing you to understand what I had. I hope you're happy. You deserve to be. Rebecca. Marcus read the letter twice, then showed it to Jennifer. How do you feel? She asked carefully. Sad, Marcus admitted. Not angry anymore, just sad for all of us, for the time we wasted, the pain we caused each other. Are you going to respond? Marcus thought about it. Then he took out a piece of paper and wrote, Rebecca, thank you for your honesty. I forgive you, not because what you did was okay, but because I'm choosing not to carry that weight anymore. I hope you find peace, Marcus. He mailed it the next day and felt something release in his chest. 5 years after the divorce, Marcus married Jennifer in a small ceremony surrounded by close friends and family. Patricia came, now retired from investigation work and running a small bakery. Olivia came too, bringing her new boyfriend, a quiet accountant who treated her with obvious devotion. Life's funny, Olivia commented during the reception. We plotted revenge together and somehow both ended up happy anyway. Maybe that's the real victory, Marcus suggested. Not the revenge, but what came after. Definitely, Olivia agreed, raising her glass. To moving forward. To moving forward, Marcus echoed. As the evening wound down, Marcus stood on the terrace of the venue, Jennifer beside him, her hand in his. Do you ever regret it? She asked softly. What you did to Rebecca and Derek. Marcus considered the question honestly. Sometimes. Not because they didn't deserve consequences, but because I let them make me someone I didn't like, someone vindictive and cold. But you're not that person anymore, Jennifer reminded him. No, Marcus agreed, squeezing her hand. I'm not. He'd learned something through it all. Revenge could be sweet, but it was never satisfying. It didn't heal wounds or fix what was broken. It just created more damage, spreading pain like ripples on water. Real victory wasn't in destroying those who hurt you. It was in refusing to let their actions destroy you. It was in building something better, something real, something worth keeping. As Marcus looked at Jennifer at the life they were building together, he realized something profound. The best revenge wasn't revenge at all. It was healing, growing, loving again despite the fear. It was becoming someone better than the person you were when you were hurt. And in that moment, watching stars appear in the darkening sky with his wife beside him and friends surrounding them, Marcus Chen finally understood what it meant to win. Not by destroying his enemies, but by refusing to let them define him. That was the last laugh, the one that mattered most.